at it again, and I came across this clip from a YouTube channel called More Perfect Union. Shout out to them. That's where this clip came from. But they did something pretty interesting that I want to discuss with you guys. But before we hop into that, like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new. And if you would like to help me out even further with this YouTube algorithm, to get this message out to more folks, watch this video to the very end. It helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, and I will greatly appreciate it. With that being said, let's dive in.
Extreme socialism, obviously, we'll all agree, communism doesn't work. Yeah. But extreme capitalism, as we're seeing right now, does not with work. This corporate capitalism, also has its problems.
How much money is too much money for one person?
It's a tough call. I know. When they have these billions, you're like, well, they really don't need it. Yeah, we agree with that.
Why Trump instead of Bernie?
As the great Thomas Sowell once said, there are no solutions. There's only trade-offs. I remember checking out that video, and it really hit me because I sat back and I really thought about it. And I was like, wow, that's actually true. There's no solutions. There's only trade-offs. Answers that guy's question.
Bernie Sanders.
What I look at is more progressives like the Bernie Sanders faction, stuff like that. We actually see a lot of the same problems.
And I would vote for a Bernie Sanders before I'd vote for like a Ted Cruz or a Marco Rubio.
What would it have taken for you guys to not go into the rally and to instead get ice cream with me, a flaming leftist?
Well, first of all, you'd have to buy.
All right, I'm buying. We are polarized. There is no doubt about it. But I came to this Trump rally on a hunch. I've poured drinks at a Rust Belt dive bar for the last year, and when your county votes for Trump and the bartender looks like I do, people kind of assume that you're on the same page. But sometimes you actually are. So here's my hunch. For all the focus on culture war issues, the working class on the left and the right have a lot more in common than we're led to believe. And if that's true, it could and should have huge implications for the upcoming presidential election. So I went to Erie, Pennsylvania to find out. Are we rolling? Okay. We're here at the Trump rally.
I do believe that is true for the most part. And I dropped a YouTube short on it from, I believe his name is Bryson. But he said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here. He said this division is fake. It's only in the media. Because when you go out in the real world, you'll have different groups of people all mingling all at once. There's no fights constantly breaking out and people, getting bonked on the head and, this and that, right? I'm just saying. And when you actually sit down and talk to most folks, of course there's outliers, but when you sit down and talk to most folks, you actually realize, oh, yeah, we actually do have a lot in common. We actually do kind of want the same things. Or if not the same, they're very, very similar. Very, very close. But of course, I feel as if the media and the elites don't want that unity to happen. Because if we all come together, that in turn, in a way, spells doom for them, in my humble opinion. But what do y'all think? Let me know. Let's continue.
Today, why did you come out today?
To support my 45th president. He called out the Washington
allegedly,
establishment.
Of course.
And I absolutely loved it. He's definitely not a Republican because Mitch McConnell and them would be backing him and DeSantis would be running against him. You're obviously not a Democrat no more. So we're more of a politically homeless faction that loves America and will make all the changes that we can to make it great.
Prices are just higher. Like you go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
I buy the same thing every time I go to the grocery store. I spend $102 at Aldi's. I was just telling my uncle this.
Yeah.
I'm spending over $200 now.
Yeah.
So things are more expensive. I think people are more scared.
Our money doesn't have no value, and that's why
I was literally just talking about that. When was that? Last week before last with you guys? I was like, man, grocery store prices have gotten insane. I remember $100 to get you a carton of groceries, a basket of groceries, right? Now $100 is like 2 bags, maybe 3 if you're lucky, depending on what you get. Literally just 3 bags. I'm talking about the little plastic bags, not the big brown bags. I'm talking about the little plastic joints with 2 handles. 2 bags. It is crazy. I will never forget that day. Because I normally don't do the grocery shopping. And I did, and I remember sitting in my kitchen looking at, it was like 2.5 bags. It was a third bag that had like a couple things in it. It wasn't a full bag. Looking at it and thinking, I just spent, I want to say it was like $115-ish. And think, I just spent $115 on this stuff. $115. I barely got 2 bags of stuff. This is crazy. It's not like the whole floor is covered in bags and, you know, you got bags here, bags there, bags here. You stepping over all type. 2 bags, 2 full bags in 1 bag with like 2 things in it. This stuff is crazy. Crazy. I'll never forget that day. I will never forget that day. Because looking at that was just like, what the actual, you know?
That's why we're having problems. This whole inflation thing. It's been building and building for multi-decades, and it's getting close now.
You work at McDonald's, right?
I do.
Do you feel like you're getting everything out of work that you're putting into it?
I believe I should get paid more. All I am doing is I'm working my ass off to get my money. I'm a hard worker, and I feel like I deserve more.
I work down in West Virginia.
Yes.
Yep, on the rigs for evil Big Red, Halliburton.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Halliburton, we were 2 weeks on, 1 week off, so you never got to go home. We were the lowest paid of all the workers out there. I only made $13.50 when I got hired on.
For Halliburton.
For Halliburton, yep. Probably wouldn't even have an Iraq war if it wouldn't have been for the Halliburton and Cheney and stuff. We were expendable. That's all it was. Halliburton, Big Red, they called it. You're just part of the machine, and the machine can be replaced.
As expendable as, you know, people who went over to fight a rich person's war in Iraq.
Yep, pretty much.
5 years ago, I came to the realization that I've been hoodwinked. I have zero.
And in terms of the wars, these politicians who vote on this stuff and push this stuff should have to go fight. And not only them, their kids too. And a lot of this stuff would change overnight. I guarantee it. If politicians and their kids had to go on the front lines too, had to suit up and lace their boots up too, along with all of these men and women that put their lives on the line, a lot of this stuff would change. Don't let me become president, because I'll make that a law. I'll make it a law. If you authorize it, you're going to fight too. Now, you can come back, of course. You can come back. But you're spending, I don't know, X amount of days or months over on the front lines too. All of you. Now, we'll rotate to make sure we still have a leader here to run the show. But you're going over there and you're fighting too, along with your kids. Your kids are going too. Now, as long as they're of age, I'm not going to send like actual kids. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, let's be serious here. Let's have some common sense. Of course, anybody under 18, you're good. You know, we're not sending kids and women out into a war zone. But the men, oh yeah, you going to fight. You're going to fight. I don't care about your age. You authorized it. You go lead from the front. And I guarantee you, a lot of that stuff would be out the window. But maybe I'm an idiot.
Respect for Dick Cheney. I have zero respect for George Bush.
What did it for you there, and why did you end up going towards Trump?
It was a lie.
And this
they lied about the Iraq War. There were, we got
allegedly,
there was no reason for us to go into war in Iraq other than the military-industrial complex.
It's just conspiracy
wanted
theory
a war.
The global corporations, do they have, the Goldilocks question: too much, just enough, or too little power? Where would you place it?
I feel like their only thought is more money,
right?
More power. That's all you care. Whoever has the most money.
Obviously, it's too much.
Yep.
When you have a company like BlackRock that's worth $9 trillion,
and Vanguard's what?
Vanguard's $8 trillion. Obviously, I'm not going to argue. There's a problem with that.
Do you think the finance sector?
Yeah.
Does it have too much power, just the right amount of power, not enough power?
Way too much power.
The financial sector.
100%. Yes. These people really, a lot of these people they don't realize are unelected officials. So all these politicians have this plan for how they're going to fix the economy, but then they just get in there, they don't do anything, and they're funded by the people, and those people are not elected, and they control the people that are elected.
What role do you think the consolidation of these larger corporations. I came from an agricultural background, and now it'll be 3 or 4 companies that control the entire market for chicken, for eggs, for beef.
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah. The working class has gotten beaten up because of the loss of small businesses. And my question would be, well, I would say, well, why aren't they here anymore?
As a small business owner, I feel like we aren't represented that much in America.
Do you see a problem with that kind of operation?
Oh, 100%.
When it's concentrated.
Because the big guys are beating out the small guys, or even the family-owned businesses, easily.
A lot of that's driven by these really large corporations that are, just by their size, pushing the little guy out.
Yes.
How big of a problem do you think that is?
That's an ultimate problem. That reminds you of watching them westerns, movies when they would go to some small town and the one guy owns the bar, he owns the tack place, he owns that. Yes, there's so many houses for sale in our neighborhood. I was going to go to town and say, are these all, can we find out, are these just real people buying them, or is this like proxies? See, BlackRock proxies, Vanguard proxies. Are they buying all these homes so people can't own them and they're just going to rent them?
Would you be excited if Trump did anything to rein in?
Well, of course. It's just...
It's a monopoly that needs to be broken up. Just like, remember the telephone company in the 80s, AT&T? That was broken up.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to be done.
Capitalism is not the problem.
I didn't know about that one. Is that true? She said in the 80s. Let me know in the comment section. AT&T was a big conglomerate? Talk to me.
It's been corrupted to such a level, just like people think all the politicians are corrupted. But it's corrupted at the highest levels of these corporations, like you said, being owned. Instead of 200 of them, you're down to 4. Yeah. That's massive control.
You think somebody like Trump with the billions in the business, I mean, we're talking about really large monopolies here. Mm-hmm. He's more in their peer group.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. Right.
He has a financial interest to do that kind of policy.
I always even consider Trump even like a crony capitalist. He's not perfect. You know what I mean? He was a capitalist guy. And everybody always read where he would eminent domain against take the lady, kick her out of her house for all that stuff. Yeah, that's falls into that. Like I said, I don't know. I come to a Trump rally. Doesn't mean I think he's the greatest guy.
Can you really trust a billionaire? Help me understand why that's a thing for you.
Yeah, so with billionaires, I would say honestly, no, you can't. Yeah. I'll say with Trump, when he debated Hillary Clinton in 2016, she said all these things about the tax laws, all this, and Trump said, where have you been for 30 years? You haven't done anything about it. And then he said, I know you're not going to do it because all your donors who fund your campaign benefit from the same tax breaks and tax laws I do. Right. So whether it's left or right, these people, they're not really going to change the tax laws from the donors that are funding their campaign.
The power is so strong.
I don't think there's necessarily something wrong with just billionaires themselves. Because you have an example of Uncle Trump, who is a billionaire. And he'll tell you the truth. I can recall a interview now where, I can't remember if it was CNN. He was getting interviewed. And they asked him, I want to say they asked him, are they going to be shocked at how much you pay? And he said, no. They're going to be shocked at how little I pay. Because I fight like HE double hockey sticks not to pay. Like, he just flat out said it. Like, he told the truth. He told you. He told you. Like, no, I fight like HE double hockey sticks so I don't have to pay. They're going to be shocked at how little I pay. No, I'm gonna put it all out on Front Street. And then the debate that he was just talking about there with Hillary, he said basically those same things. He said, yes, I fight like HE double hockey sticks. And I know you're not going to change anything because the people that pay you use the same tax codes that I use. I know you're not going to change anything. I know you're not. The system is this way because of you. You could change it, but I know you won't. And since you won't, I'm going to keep taking advantage of the tax code laws that you passed. It's that simple. It is that simple. So when people make this whole charades about Trump taxes, Trump doesn't pay taxes, and neither do the people that fund your favorite Democrat politicians. Just saying. I'm just saying. You know, Trump keep it a buck with you. You know, he'll keep it all the way 100 with you. He'll tell you the truth. Can't say that about all of them, though.
That these people have built up, that, yeah, it's. I don't have answers, and because I know that's what you want. You want to hear, what can we do? I just don't think politics is going to do it. Just getting in like Civil War thing is just, who wants to do that kind of stuff? You know what I mean?
I'm kind of in the same place. I don't have the answers. Will politics do it? If politics doesn't do it, what else will? I look out at a couple 100,000 workers at UPS recently.
Yes. Did they vote on it yet?
So
Did
they
it
haven't
pass?
voted on it yet.
I heard about that.
It was negotiated, and there was, threat of the strike. They were really organized. They won $30 billion over the term of that contract, by being organized. So I look at something like that and say, if this is about control and about working class people having a seat at the table at a company as big as UPS, we just saw their unity win $30 billion worth of, cash in the pocket. Does that sit well with folks?
Nonviolent direct action does work. We've been hearing all about the boycotts. You just mentioned 100,000 people. That's a lot of people. You don't want to mess with that.
This contract was $30 billion. That was from workers standing together. Didn't have anything to do with government. Is that something you guys support?
Sure.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Absolutely. Wow.
So if my coworkers wanted to make more, and since I want to make more, I'll probably organize something that could help make us more, like maybe a petition.
Yeah, right. Or union activity.
Yes.
A lot of that. Yeah. And would you be really excited by Trump coming out and supporting workers who are doing that?
Yes.
Seeing Trump on a picket line?
Yes.
Yeah. Hot button issues. You can't get away from them. You never hear about UPS.
Not today. No, honestly, I didn't know about it until you told me.
Now, I definitely heard about the UPS situation, but we'll end there. If you want to check out the video, head on over, or rest of the video, head on over to More Perfect Union right here on YouTube. Go and show him some love and support. But, it's great that he was out there. He called himself a flaming leftist. I don't know if that's exactly true or not, if he was just being sarcastic or if he actually is a leftist. Based on what he said, I think he is part of the left, at least. I wouldn't call him, a flaming leftist. Anybody that's a flaming leftist, I would feel, wouldn't even be willing to have any types of conversations, especially with the MAGA Republicans, because they try to deem that as a bad term, right? Love how they tried to pull that one off. Goodness gracious. But kudos to him. Shout out to him. For being willing to have the conversations, being willing to truly meet, the other political side and, really have an open and honest conversation about things, because that's rare. Very, very rare these days, especially because of how polarized we have become, more so on the left. But of course, there are, your people on the right that are that way, if we're being honest, but it's a lot less than what we have on the left. The left is just, which is where the phrase, I didn't leave the left left me came from. You don't hear people saying anything like that on the right. The right left me behind. Like, no. Okay. The left, I didn't leave the left left me, because most people on the left just took their ball and went all the way left. Okay, but there are people who are still closer to the middle, and that's what you love to see. That's what you hope to see. Open and honest discussions about things, because that's part of how we come out of all of this is having discussions. And so I want to give a shout out to More Perfect Union for being willing to have that discussion. That's a beautiful thing. Love to see it. Love to hear it. But as always, y'all let me know what y'all thought about all of this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.